everyone, I'm Joe. Welcome back to my channel to learn more science with me. So today, welcome to Chester Zoo. It is one of the largest zoos in the UK, and I'll tell you what, that is true. It is very big. And now, so I'm going to be making you think that Chester Zoo is very important, and there is a very important reason about Chester Zoo, because it does lots of conservation programs to help save the planet and stop the extinction of endangered species, which is very important. So as I said, I'll be showing you around Chester Zoo, and let's see what kind of animals they've got. Let's go. So this is an Asian elephant. There are actually two or probably three in there, and now there are lots of differences between Asian and African elephants. So Asian elephants have more little ears, but African elephants have bigger ears. The reason why Asian elephants have smaller ears is because that helps them cool off in the hot rainforest. That's the same with African elephants. And also, you know these, so they have trunks, don't they? And now they have these things called trunk fingers. Now African elephants have two trunk fingers, and Asian elephants only have one trunk finger. And also, the Asian elephant, only males have tusks when you're Asian elephants, but in African elephants, all ones, no matter if it's male or female, they both have tusks. And also Asian elephants' tusks are smaller, just like they are. And also the African elephants are bigger and their tusks are bigger. So also Asian elephants have very good memory, and they also are one of the top 10 smartest animals in the whole world. Now sadly, Asian elephants have been hunted. Well, not really hunted. It's this thing called human conflict, where elephants go near the farms of humans, and then what happens is the farmers try to protect their crops from the elephants, and basically they just have to shoot the elephants, so it's very bad. But there is a solution. Some farmers use electrical fences which help protect. So the elephants go near the electrical fences, get a little shock, and then they run away back to the forest, and that keeps the farm safe. But in Africa, it's a bit different. So in Africa, what happens in Africa is poachers actually hunt these majestic animals for their ivory tusks, which are used to make statues. So don't forget, elephants live in very hot conditions, so they had to cool off. Now one way to do it is the same way that hippos and rhinos do the same way. They cool off in mud baths, and it also acts like a tick repellent. So when you put mud on your body, it's like a layer between the ticks and your skin. And also it helps with cooling them off. That's the same that they do with water. As you can see, there's a huge pond for the elephants to cool off in. So this guy is the Asian one-horned rhino. Now, it's just like other rhinos, but instead it has only one horn. And just like elephants and hippos, they also cool off in mud baths and water baths as well. Now their horns, now all rhinos' horns are made out of a protein called keratin, which is the same as our hair and fingernails. Sadly, those keratin horns are what's making poachers try to kill these animals. So what they do is poachers go out into the wild and hunt these animals for their keratin horns, so they can make things like statues and stuff like that. And also, a renewed global black market says that when you eat keratin, it helps with your health, but there's no scientific research that is true. Now, There's another type of rhino called the black rhino, which I mentioned about earlier in the time when I went to the West Midlands Safari Park. Now they have actually this thing called a prehensile top lip, which helps them with getting the thorny plants. And also, they also love eating grass, as you can see. So this is the eastern black rhino, and it's just like the greater one-horned rhino, but it's instead, like most rhinos, it's got two horns. And as you can see, so as you know, rhinos, elephants and hippos live in very hot conditions. So that means they need to find one way to cool down. Well, there's not actually one way to cool down, there are actually two ways. You see, they can sometimes use water baths and mud baths. Now mud baths has two special reasons. One, as you know, cools them off, but when you put the mud on, it's like a natural tick repellent. So you put it on and then it's like a layer in between the ticks and your skin. And also, rhinos urinate on places like rocks to mark their territory. It's very important. And if an intruder does come into their territory, they'll start a little battle, and then whoever wins will stay in that territory and the other will retreat back to its territory. Now, they've also got very sharp hooves as well, which help them move in the mud. And also, rhinos' horns are made out of keratin, which is the same type of protein that our fingernails, toenails and hair are made out of. But sadly, those horns, those majestic horns, are what are forcing poachers to come and hunt these animals. They hunt these animals for their horns, so then they can use it for carving it into things. And also, in places like China, it mentions that if you eat keratin, it helps you with your health, but there's been no scientific research that is true. It might actually make your health even worse, because if you bite your nails, your health gets very worse, so probably if you eat that, you'll get even worse. Right, now let's take a look at the senses of the eastern black rhino. Eyesight, very poor, but their hearing and sense of smell is really good. In fact, their ears can actually move around to detect where sound is coming from. Kind of weird, I know, but it's very helpful when they're out in the wild. Imagine if I could do that, or any of you could do that. That would be so weird. So these are meerkats. Now, when meerkats are digging their burrows, most of them stay in with their food and their babies, but one male has to stay out and look out for trouble, like different predators or maybe another arrival that's going to try and take the territory. And they are very nice animals as well. They like eating lots of things, and yeah, that's true what they like doing, walking around. So in this place there are lots and lots of birds. Now you see that huge nest over there? So that area is probably made by weaver birds. Now caracals, which are a type of wildcat, are great at jumping and catching those birds that go back to the nest. So what they do is they jump and then they twist and then they use their claws, grab a bird and then eat it. That's so cool. I like the zoo. Do you guys like it? I do. Now we were actually exploring a place which is a national park in either Kenya or Tanzania. Alright. Now, let's get back out. This is a bit of a tough challenge. Oh, getting kind of dark in here. Good. Right. Oh, it's a push. Guys can come out. Follow me this way. Now this way. Alright, let's see. There we go. Hand sanitizer station. Very handy. Right, now let's continue exploring the Chester Zoo. So this is my little sister with my dad, who's come back with a little face painting. So what animal are you?
Tiger.
Ooh, look at you're probably a hyena. Look really nice. So this is the Burmese brown antlered deer. Now this, as you can see, is a male and it's got huge horns which help them defend their territory, and I've also made a video, 2 videos about swans and ducks, and this is a bit similar to it. So these are also used to impress the females, which are these ones, which don't have horns, because they don't really need to do any of that things like the males would. So these actually impress the females and help with mating. Now for animals, mating season is spring. And it's summer by now, and I'm sure they're going to have their babies very soon. So these types of antelope actually live in Thailand and Myanmar. That's why they're called Burmese.